The story begins with a team of FBI agents preparing to raid an adult film production site. The mission is led by a bearded man named Zero. Before the raid, Zero contacts his close friend Brandon, asking him to monitor a woman named Laura. Laura is more than just a producer of illegal films. She also runs a human trafficking network. Known for her cruelty, she punishes mistakes with death, killing even her own men if they fail her. Laura's men receive advance warning that the FBI will arrive in 30 minutes. Fearing exposure, Laura gives a brutal order: kill every woman being held at the site. She does not want any survivor revealing her secrets to the authorities or the media. As her men prepare to carry out the massacre, one of them, Simon, secretly approaches a woman named Anna. Simon has long cared for her, and in a moment of desperation, he begs Anna to run away before it is too late. Anna escapes just in time. Moments later, Laura's men begin slaughtering the women trapped inside. When Zero and the FBI finally storm the site, they are too late. The rooms are filled only with corpses, evidence of a massacre carried out to erase every witness. The agents are shaken, but the operation continues. While still at the crime scene, Zero receives a call from Brandon. Brandon informs him that a government minister has been arrested for collaborating with Laura in the trafficking business. Confident this could lead to justice, Brandon plans to hand the minister over to the authorities for punishment. Later, Brandon returns to base and reports everything to his superior, Gabriel. He explains that the minister, Harvey, the U.S. border minister, has been working with Laura and the trafficking network. Brandon expects recognition for his efforts, but instead, he receives a stern warning. Gabriel explains that Harvey is too powerful and too difficult to prosecute. Without strong evidence, they cannot move against him. Brandon's information is not enough to hold Harvey accountable. Reluctantly, Gabriel orders Harvey to be released, leaving Brandon frustrated and disillusioned. The mission that began with hope for justice ends with a bitter truth. Laura remains hidden, the women are gone, and Harvey walks free. Instead, Brandon is punished for his actions. He is suspended from duty and temporarily removed from all investigations. Not long after, Harvey appears to defend himself. He claims that his visit to Laura's place was only to collect belongings he had previously lent her. To support his claim, he presents evidence that Laura is already dead, allegedly from poisoning herself. Harvey firmly denies any role in human trafficking, insisting that he has no connection to the business. Meanwhile, Laura's group of hired killers discovers that a woman escaped on the night of the massacre. Their leader, Dex, immediately orders two of his snipers to hunt for Anna, fearing she might expose their crimes. He suspects she has already gone to the police. At the police station, Anna is indeed giving her statement about the horrific events she witnessed. Suddenly, Zero arrives. He identifies himself as an FBI agent assigned to protect her from the assassins. He shows Anna photos of the criminals targeted in the raid. When Harvey's picture appears, Anna recognizes him at once. She explains that he had taken her and other women across the border to a city in the United States. This revelation proves that Laura and Harvey were partners in the trafficking network. Outside, the two snipers Dex sent are already in position. They watch Anna from a rooftop and prepare their rifles, but their inexperience betrays them. Their first shot misses Anna and instead strikes a police officer. Panic erupts at the station. Reacting quickly, Zero grabs Anna and rushes her out before the shooters can regroup. They escape together into the streets, leaving chaos behind. Back at the assassin's headquarters, Dex receives the report of the failed attack. Furious, he lashes out at his men, yelling and smashing objects around the room in a violent rage. His frustration grows at the thought of Anna still being alive and a danger to their operation. Elsewhere, Brandon continues his fight to prove Harvey's corruption. He tries again to convince his superior, Gabriel, that Harvey is guilty. But Gabriel refuses to believe him without stronger evidence. With nothing solid to present, Brandon is ignored and dismissed. Frustrated and powerless, Brandon finally walks away. His warnings remain unheard, while Anna's survival and Harvey's hidden crimes hang in the balance. Determined to expose the truth, he decides to take matters into his own hands. To confront a government minister and his network of criminals, he needs allies beyond the FBI. Zero, operating as a secret agent, has many acquaintances skilled in combat and espionage. Among them is Yuki, a former assassin known as Lady Death, feared for her ability to infiltrate and gather intelligence. The next morning, Zero, Brandon, and Anna travel to Baltimore. Their destination is a quiet cafe where Yuki was once known to spend time. The group splits up to search for her. Brandon steps inside and questions the patrons, hoping someone remembers Lady Death. Suddenly, a nervous young man named Pete approaches and quietly leads him outside. Just as they leave, a woman suddenly appears, Yuki herself. Mistaking Brandon for a threat, she attacks with lethal precision. A fierce fight erupts until Zero and Anna rush in to intervene. They explain the situation, and the misunderstanding is resolved. At Yuki's residence later that day, Zero explains why they sought her out. He reveals that they are investigating a human trafficking network, one tied directly to a high-ranking government official. Anna, one of the victims, is living proof of the crimes. Initially, Yuki refuses. But when Anna describes the suffering of the victims and the brutality she endured, Yuki is moved. At last, she agrees to help. The team's first step is to recruit Pete, the hacker who had guided Brandon earlier. Pete is a skilled coder capable of breaching hidden databases and government files. With his help, they begin gathering intelligence on Harvey and his associates. Their investigation soon reveals alarming details about Laura's so-called death. Records suggest her poisoning was staged. Evidence points to Laura faking her death in order to return to the trafficking business under a new identity. To confirm their suspicions, Zero advises Anna to reach out to Simon, the man who once saved her life from Laura's massacre. When Anna makes contact, she learns that Laura's supposed death coincided with a strange event. Dex, the violent enforcer, was borrowing Simon's phone during that very time. The connection raises new doubts, hinting that Laura may still be alive and pulling strings from the shadows. Dex finally uncovers the truth. The person who helped Anna escape during the massacre was none other than Simon, his own subordinate. Furious, Dex threatens Simon, forcing him to lure Anna into a meeting at a local cafe. The plan is simple: set the trap, then kill both Simon and Anna to erase all traces of betrayal. Meanwhile, at headquarters, Gabriel grows uneasy. His instincts tell him something is wrong. He begins quietly reviewing the official files about Laura's death. The documents appear flawless, almost too perfect, as if carefully constructed to conceal the truth. Though he cannot yet act without stronger proof, Gabriel decides to keep Harvey under close surveillance, convinced the minister is deeply tied to the trafficking network. The next day, the trap is set. Zero worries. Simon may be working under Dex's orders, so he assigns Yuki to stay close to Anna for protection. He and Brandon take sniper positions inside a nearby building, prepared to provide cover. Simon soon arrives at the cafe with members of his gang. But Dex has already moved ahead of him, positioning snipers to open fire on Anna the moment she appears. Simon is no longer an ally in Dex's eyes. He is a liability. Without hesitation, Dex orders Simon's death as punishment for betrayal. Dex, satisfied, moves into the open streets to observe, while his men blend in around the cafe, waiting for Anna. Among them, a large man disguises himself as an ordinary customer, pretending to read a book at a nearby table. Anna and Yuki arrive at the cafe, unaware of the trap closing in around them. Zero and Brandon scan from their hidden vantage point, searching desperately for enemy snipers. But the rooftop above their own building is where the real danger hides. Dex and his shooters lie in wait, just a few steps ahead. The moment Anna begins waiting for Simon, the ambush begins. Bullets tear through the air. Yuki reacts instantly, shielding Anna and rushing her out of harm's way. In the chaos, the large man reveals himself and engages Yuki in brutal combat. At the same time, Zero spots the flash of rifles above. Realizing the enemy is on the rooftop, he abandons his cover and races upward, determined to neutralize the snipers before Anna is caught in the crossfire. On the rooftop, Zero finally comes face to face with Dex. The confrontation escalates instantly into a brutal, close-quarters fight. Dex's strength and aggression nearly overwhelm Zero at first, forcing him back against cover. But Zero adapts, countering with precision and sheer determination. The fight ends violently when Zero seizes the opening, draws his weapon, and delivers a fatal shot to Dex's head. The leader of the hitmen collapses, lifeless. Elsewhere, Yuki remains locked in a struggle with the towering enforcer. Their battle shakes the cafe floor, but it is abruptly interrupted by the arrival of police units. Sirens wail and armed officers storm the scene. Yuki, unwilling to be arrested, breaks free and disappears into the crowd. The muscular man attempts to flee but fails. Desperate, he grabs a civilian hostage and presses a weapon to her head, demanding the police retreat. His moment of control lasts only seconds. From a distant window, Brandon's rifle cracks, sending a bullet straight into the man's skull. Later, the survivors regroup at Yuki's residence. Zero reveals Dex's mobile phone, recovered during their rooftop clash. The device, he explains, could hold the key to unraveling the entire network. To unlock it, they turn to Pete, the eccentric hacker. At his apartment, Pete works swiftly, breaking through the encryption. Files flood the screen: names, accounts, schedules, shipment records. The truth becomes undeniable. Laura staged her death, reinventing herself under a new identity. The cover-up was orchestrated with the full support of Harvey, the border minister. The data is overwhelming, exposing the vast machinery of trafficking that spans countries and years. Brandon quickly relays the findings to his superiors, though he knows not all will listen. Meanwhile, Zero and Yuki prepare for decisive action. Their next objective is the Philadelphia docks, where Harvey's gang holds dozens of captive women. The plan is simple and ruthless: strike hard, dismantle the operation, and liberate the victims. At the same time, Gabriel moves independently. Suspicion drives him into Harvey's home, where he uncovers hidden files. Inside are forged documents detailing Laura's fabricated death and her altered civilian identity. Even more damning, he discovers records of smuggled women forced into the underground trade. Just as he secures the evidence, footsteps approach. Harvey himself enters, gun raised and aimed directly at Gabriel. The room turns deadly quiet. Gabriel reacts in an instant, diving for cover. Gunfire erupts, echoing through the halls as Gabriel retreats upstairs, clutching the evidence that could expose everything. Gabriel seizes his moment. In a sudden reversal, he strikes Harvey with full force, subduing the corrupt minister before he can fire another shot. With evidence in hand and Harvey in custody, the circle begins to close around the network. Meanwhile, at the Philadelphia docks, Zero, Brandon, and Yuki position themselves for the assault. The night air is heavy with tension as they split responsibilities. Yuki moves like a shadow through the maze of containers, eliminating guards silently and methodically. From above, Brandon and Zero provide cover, targeting hidden snipers before they can retaliate. The silence breaks when enemy forces swarm Yuki's position. Outnumbered, she fights with precision but begins to tire under the relentless pressure. From his perch, Zero notices her struggle. Abandoning his vantage point, he charges into the firefight, blades and bullets cutting through the enemy line to reach her. Left alone atop the containers, Brandon becomes the target of a sudden ambush. A brutal hand-to-hand fight erupts. Just as the enemy aims to finish him, Brandon hurls his rifle towards Zero. Zero catches it mid-motion, spins, and fires a clean shot that drops the attacker instantly. The tide of battle shifts, and together the three dismantle the remaining resistance. Moments later, sirens cut through the chaos as police and ambulances flood the docks. The surviving women are rushed to safety. Gabriel's voice comes through, reporting Harvey's arrest and the evidence secured to ensure his downfall. Yet one mystery remains: Laura. Records suggest she is hidden in one of the shipping containers. Brandon races to search, prying open steel doors one after another, but finds nothing. The women have already been evacuated. Then, on the road toward the hospital convoy, they discover a bloodied ambulance, its crew slaughtered. The truth becomes clear: Laura escaped, leaving carnage in her wake. Elsewhere, Laura flees into the night, flagging down a passing car. She spins a false tale of being robbed, her voice dripping with desperation. The driver pulls over, but fate turns cruel. Behind the wheel is Anna, the survivor who once endured Laura's cruelty. Driven by vengeance, Anna strikes, killing Laura and discarding her body on the deserted road. Days later, calm returns. Gabriel, now retired from the CIA, reflects with Brandon on the war still ahead. Zero is already forming a covert team, an independent force dedicated to dismantling the criminal empire shielded by corrupt officials. The movie ends here,